This, of course, is the Girls Talk. Well, this is the part where we flip it. This is the Girls Talk right here on Rapid Television, and it is where we get to hang out with the girls. I don't know if you saw that grand introduction of myself and the girls. I absolutely loved it. But for today, we go on with the business of the day yet again, as always. My name is Martha Alu, and I am never alone in the studio. Let me start from my rear left. I have Ifeanyi Chukwu. Thank you so much for joining us today.
For having me.
And I have Nenwarandon Yilmazaka on the show with me. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Always a pleasure to be here.
How has been your week, guys?
It's been crazy, one word.
Crazy.
Eventful, productive.
Really?
Yes.
It's just Wednesday. Oh.
Yes, there's been a lot
Cut
to do.
soap for us. If it's eventful and productive on a Wednesday, please cut it for us. We definitely
Okay,
want
no problem.
it. Well, I've been just eating the Nigerian news anyhow.
Okay.
And I can't tell you that it's either eventful or beautiful or, you know, interesting it is, because I mean, you're learning new things every day. And it's really crazy. All right, let's move to the matter on ground. For a very long time, relationship between immediate family, nuclear family, and extended family has been quite complicated, especially for a place like Nigeria that, you know, we have diverse culture. And it becomes even more complicated when you marry from a different part of the divide that you're from as a Nigerian. And today, our conversation is a borderline finding a balance between your immediate family and your extended family. And to that, we will get to dissect people's matter a little bit on the show. There's a video of someone who has brought her matter to us to, you know, decide on what is going to be done. Let's get through with the slides and then we'll get to deliberate on the matter. Slide number 1. Now it says, "Dear Ife, it says, I'm a bad person. I did something terrible. Please help me." Now it says, "I hope my meal meets you well. Not a bad day, or not a day rather, goes by that I don't regret my action towards my late sister-in-law. I know my mom has said I am young and I should forgive myself, but I literally have nightmares about guilt or of guilt. If how do I forgive myself? My brother married a girl from a rich home, but he has always been the one taking care of the family, even though I am the last born. And he has trained my other 3 sisters well to now stand on their own. But when he got married to her, let's go to the next slide, he started spending less money on the family, and he was pushing my other sisters to do things he would normally do. The issue started when I was serving then, and I asked my brother for money. He gave me half and said I should take the remaining half for my other 3 sisters. My sisters were also slow, or always slow to send money, so I called my sister-in-law to talk to her husband. She said she has to stand with her husband, that I should please not kill him with stress. I told the whole family group and we started plotting against her. I went to spend the weekend one day and I never left." Next slide, please. I did things I can't really tell you because I'm embarrassed and ashamed. She made food I poured in the trash. I hold the remote in the living room and forced her to go and watch in her room. When she reported to her husband, I cried to my mother and she would call him and his wife to order. All these things I didn't know my sister-in-law had cancer, and they found out 2 months into the marriage. Her hair started falling off, and when I asked my brother, he said she was fine. She started throwing up and taking different meds. I thought she was pregnant. So when my brother was not around, I called her lazy. She didn't want her family to know because, let's have the next slide. Because she didn't want her family to know because her mother too was dealing with cancer. All the time I was frustrating her and insulting her. She was sick, I didn't know. In fact, she died 2 months ago and my brother has cut off my sisters, my mother and I. He's dealing with it all by himself and it makes me feel like I should die too. I am out of options. I don't know what I need. Please, how can I stop feeling guilty? I have prayed, begged my brother. He said he forgives me, but I didn't kill her. So I should stop feeling guilty. He just doesn't want to talk to us right now. But I have nightmares. I have lost weight. I am a bad person. Maybe I agree. Now, but I have nightmares, I have lost weight, I am a bad person. Please tell me what to do to stop feeling this way. Now, apologies for, those breaks because of how it was being spelled over there. But this is the matter we're dealing with on ground. Let's start with you, Ifeanyi Chiku. What are your thoughts on this?
First of all, I would just say she's a very evil person. She's an evil person and very insensitive and does not understand what boundaries are. First of all, she's the last in the family. She did not have any need to be in her brother's house. She already stated that her brother had literally raised her other 3 sisters to the point of independence, and she had other people to rely on. But she just decided to target her sister-in-law and decided to come into her home, her sister-in-law's home, and stand in as a stumbling block, as a nail in her thumb, and just make her life a living hell. And she's not feeling guilty because she feels bad about what she did. She's feeling guilty because the woman is dead, and she's realized that she could actually have been a horrible person, that she wasn't because she made a statement. Her hair was falling off and she was throwing up, and she thought she was pregnant. And what she decided to think about is the fact that she is lazy. How do you accord laziness to pregnancy with all the hormones, the morning sickness, the weight gain, the depression that comes with it, the mental state that comes with it? It just doesn't make sense. So for me, her boundaries were just off. She was welcomed, but she didn't have the need to stay there, because she even said she came for a weekend and she never left. So it was very intentional, and it was a plot by the mother and her other sisters to come in there and just make the lady's life a living hell. So yes, indirectly they may have contributed to her death, because they made sure that the remaining months leading up to her death were miserable. So in my opinion, they are very evil people, they are very miserable people, and they don't even deserve any kind words coming from me at this point.
It's how you have a straight face saying this for me. You are saying it very calm.
The
person is right in front of her.
All right, then let's hear you.
So I read it and I'm like, this is pure entitlement, because why would you feel like, oh, because I asked my brother for money and it now became an issue because he has a wife and all of that. And it's so many things in one box. Entitlement, ungratefulness. This man literally took care of yourself and your sister's needs for a period of time. Now he's building his own home, building his own family. And then you just felt that, oh, why should he now, cut off? And again, I don't understand how she herself didn't say to ask herself, okay, my brother has actually tried for us. I mean, taking care of my sisters and all. Okay, now at least let my sisters now be the ones,
bear the burden.
Exactly. Now that my brother has a family. But it's just so sad that every single person in the family, from her, the mother, all the sisters, nobody stood to say, wait, this our brother has tried. Let us know. But because the way she explained it, they all came together to say yes.
To plot against
you know what? Go represent us. Go there and make sure you make the house very miserable for this woman. And I agree with her. I don't think she's feeling this way based on what she did. I think it's just guilt based on she eventually died and all of that. If she was still alive, trust me, she would have continued her plans and maybe even ended up ruining the marriage and everyone go. But again, I want to also come back to the husband. While all of this was going on, what were you doing? Because, no matter how busy you were, I want to believe that he must have, in few occasions seen this happen. Or even the wife come to complain, okay, your sister did this, did that. What did he do? Nothing. Till when, the wife died and all of that. And then you are now trying to create a space. I don't know, but like she said again, the boundaries. I don't even know who to blame, because the couples have their own part. It's your home. It's your home. Although we're going to talk about extended family, because in as well, it's easy to say, oh, create boundaries and all of that. But again, when they are your people, because sometimes it's even our own relative. Now, this one is a sister-in-law. Sometimes it's your own sister that would break, those boundaries. So let's also not come and be like, oh, boundaries. They're also that part of, oh, their families and all. But there are also there's a level to it. And obviously, this lady overstepped her boundaries. And yes, she's a terrible person.
Well,
it's the truth.
let me start with what you said about, you know, the husband not intervening or something. You know, the lady pointed out here that when her husband goes to work, which is her brother, goes to work, that's when she carries out. That's when she carries out her evil activities. But you see, there's an attitude that a person who doesn't have anything to lose anymore puts forward, which I think is what this sister-in-law who is now deceased decided to do. Like, I don't have there's no need to fight with you. There's no need to, you know, report you here and there. I'm not going to be here for long anyways. Covered up. You know, so that, I believe that, you know, that's what it was. Now, let's go to this girl. For me, I don't even think she's repentant.
She's not.
Yes, because if you are putting this on social media for people to tell you, oh, don't feel guilty, it's in the past, you are a terrible person, a very terrible person. And the moment I started reading this, I knew she was a terrible person, because she was not feeling sorry because of what she did. She was feeling sorry because the person who she did it to had died.
Yes.
So there are two different things. It's like a person who was caught for stealing is feeling sorry because they are being caught.
Yeah.
So they're not sorry about what they did. They're not sorry because they were actually caught. It's the same thing with cheating. You catch your partner cheating. They are not sorry because they cheated.
Yeah.
They are sorry because
they were caught cheating. Yeah.
That's basically, and this is it. With her. And you know, for boundaries, it's very important, because we live our lives in seasons, you know, and every season of your life requires you to make a change regarding that season. And I'll give an example. Grow up in a female dominated home, I promise you, is a thing. No matter how much you shout for your siblings to leave your dresses, they will still wear it. You know, they're still going to put it on, you know. And then imagine a sister that you're so close to like that gets married. You want to continue that. Let's say the husband buys her like a very beautiful dress and you're like, I like that. That's the next outfit I'm going to put on. You will put it on. Yeah. But you know, it got to a point where we now had to understand, you just have to create boundaries here. This is no longer just your sister. Your sister is in another setting, in another season of her life. So we are going to learn how to interact with her based on that season that she currently finds herself in. But you see, your mother too is an evil person, and I'm saying it without any sort of remorse. Your mother, and you know why it is even terrible is because you are the last born of the house.
That was the first thing I said.
What
She's
gives
the last
you
born.
exactly, which means that the wife that they even got married to would have been older than you. So what gives you the audacity to come to somebody's home and disrespect them?
And it also shows on the character of the wife to even be lenient with it, because she said that she took over the remote control of the living room, and the wife would ignore it and go move over to her own bedroom to watch TV. To show you that the wife was intentionally keeping things away from the husband, because that kind of situation can turn into something else if she had that, you know, went to report to the husband and say, this is what your sister is doing. But she saw it that this is not my problem. This is like little fish to fry. I got bigger problems to deal with, like this sickness that's in my body. And I don't just have the time to address all these petty issues that my husband's people are giving to me. So it just tells to show the character of the lady that died, because she was dealing with so much. She had so much, you know, issues to deal with her health. Not just her health, her own mother was also dealing with cancer. And she had her in-laws dealing with her mercilessly. And she only had her husband, who was also probably under a lot of stress. She wouldn't go to him and say, this is what your sisters are doing to me. It's something in her mind she will feel like she has to handle.
But at what point can she now like keeping away from the husband? Because she eventually passed, but if she was, you know, healthy and all of that, how long would she have continued to allow all of that go? Because
I feel like if she was healthy, she wouldn't have even tolerated it.
You think so?
I think so.
But you know, there are some people that actually it's like their daily life.
Something is different when you know that you're gonna die.
Yes.
Like life is different.
You have a terminal illness.
Exactly. Life is different because you already know what the end of the story is going to be like.
Nothing matters anymore.
Exactly. Yeah. So there are certain things that you are not even bothered about, because you already know how the matter is going to end. And you don't know what stage she's in.
Yeah, but her head to be falling off and throwing up. It means the chemo was really taking its toll on her body.
So you don't expect a person that is dealing with that to now worry about remote control. How much longer am I going to be here for you to be dragging remote? It's more like just eat your brother's house. And it's so crazy, because this is the reality of a lot of women in their African homes. And when the last time we had a conversation about finances in relationship, there's something I said, and it is, I think that couples need to be very solid about their financial decisions. And I loved what happened between the both of them. The husband has said, I'm giving you half of this money. Go to your other unserious 3 sisters who cannot put head together to give you half of what I alone gave to you, you know, and comes to the wife. And I think this is what happens in, at least I've seen it in a few African homes, where what the man says, they go to the mother and she's like, that's what he said, that's what we're going to do. So I think that couples also need to like put very strict, very solid boundaries for themselves when it comes to finances. There's no, oh, talk to your brother, oh, please give her the money. We have already agreed that it is only half of that money we can spare as a family to give out to anybody. And when we give it to you, that should end the matter, regardless of what you think. But let's talk about navigating difficult situations in your extended family. Now, we are part of families, right? And we must have seen things happen in different parts regarding culture, you know, siblings that are married. So how do you think, as a young lady living in a relationship or married in Nigeria, you can deal with difficult extended family and interference in your home?
Okay, so the first thing to think about is respect. We all know that we are from an African background, and when we think about our culture and our traditions, we have to put respect into perspective. But we also have to consider the fact that respect goes both ways. As an individual, as someone that has, you know, autonomy of yourself, as an independent person, it's very, very important to understand who you are as a person and to be self-aware and to know yourself and what you can tolerate, what you can take on, what you can manage and what you cannot manage. Because marriage is an institution. Living with, even if you're not living with them, coexisting with them in a marriage is all about people management. You're not just dealing with yourself and your husband. You're dealing with his, you're not just marrying your husband, you're married into his family, and him too, he's marrying your family. So it goes both ways to see. And you know, sometimes we like to look at it from only the women's perspective, but it also affects the men, because we've seen from this situation that the problem was his family, but he was not even on their side. He was dealing with other stress factors in his life, and his own family members couldn't see it. All they were worried about was the woman there. So when dealing with family members and extended family, while considering respect, the next is boundaries. You have to set those firm boundaries, and like you said, you and your partner have to have one front. It cannot be this person says A and the other person says B. It has to be one word, one token, one. You guys are a team together. It's the both of you against the world, as much as you have your family. So both of you come first to each other. So boundaries comes next, and then you now have to look into perspectives. So while dealing with people, everyone has their different perspectives. Everyone has the way they see things. Your mother-in-law might be thinking from her time, or even your own mother might be thinking from her time. Your sister-in-law might be 26 and you're 35, and you know, the generation, the age gap, the generational patterns, and you know, the behavioral patterns are completely different. So you have to put things into perspective. But for me personally, I would always say I will put myself and my family first before anything else, because at the end of the day, if things should go south, it's the woman that will take the brunt of it. It's the woman that is going to deal with the blame. It's the woman that is going to say it's not her fault. She doesn't know how to manage a home. She doesn't know how to manage her husband, her family. She's disrespectful. Matter of fact, it's better for them to even call you a disrespectful woman than for people to come into your home and insult you and call you names and even ruin your marriage or your relationship with your husband. So for me, that's how I would address the situation moving forward. And I would just make sure that when people should know me as this is how I am. Some might like to even say a Margaret Thatcher. She's someone that has authority or someone that is stern. It's better that way. Not to say I cannot be friendly, not to say I cannot you know, meet with you halfway, but this is the type of person I am. I work with rules. I apply it in my own daily life and with my husband. So if you're coming into my space, my territory, my home, you have to respect it. And if I'm outside of my space and I come into your home and your territory, I'll also apply your own rules to it, because I'm within your own space now. So like I said, it's respect goes both ways, and I will apply it in every aspect of my life, especially when dealing with extended family. It's something that you cannot even ignore as a woman. From day one, you have to implement it and just keep it rolling with them. And meet fire with fire, give them
meet fire with fire.
Yes. So that's just my take on it. But like I said, be respectful and also be lenient as well. Consider perspective to be. You have to understand that sometimes mama might be coming from a point of view of her time when things were, you know, more against women. The patriarchy was very heavy on them. Most of them did not even have bank accounts. They had to depend so much on their husbands, and they don't even know a life of what it means to be an independent woman. So yeah, that's it on my end.
Okay. What's here?
I just feel like she said everything.
Oh, really?
But again, yes, I think boundaries is like the constant. That's like one thing I'll also reiterate. And the two people in question, that's the husband and the wife in the marriage, you know, coming to an agreement as to what they want, what they will allow and what they will not allow into their home, so that we don't have individual, you know, persons having theirs. You sit together, you agree, okay, this is what we'll take, this is what we'll not take in our home, this would work, this will not work, and all of that. And then again, now translating these boundaries and what you've agreed to the extended family, I feel like wisdom is important, which was also something she touched on, because I mean, you might be trying to relate what, you know, you guys stand for as a home and all of that to your family, and they might not really understand you properly. So it's wise that you know how to, you know, relay. How you're passing a message to mama is different from how you're passing a message to your younger sister. It's different from how you're passing, you know. So just I'm saying this because this is like a major issue, and sometimes people misinterpret it to be that, oh, the in-laws are just being difficult. But sometimes if you also now look at how, you know, the whole thing was communicated, you would see that the communication is very terrible, and in trying to be firm, you end up now losing relationships, because again, like we said, in Nigeria, when you're married to this man, you're married to his family as well. In as much as he's almost like the representative of everything, but you're married to the family, and in one way or the other, you would need those extended families. So in trying to put boundaries, you shouldn't now cut off those extended families. So finding a suitable way, a wise way, you know, to relate those boundaries and whatever it is to those extended families is also something really important. Yeah. So I think basically that's just it. To add to what she said.
Well, funny enough, why do I agree with the both of them? I actually do agree with both what both of you have said, but I'll just add a few more things to that, which would be the fact that diplomacy is like your best friend when it comes to dealing with extended families. And I'm not even talking about just marriage. I'm talking about even dealing with your cousins, you know, dealing with your uncles and dealing with your aunties. Never forget, I was in 100 level, you know, I applied for law, I was giving theater ads, I cried my eyes out. I was so upset because I wanted to be a lawyer. And then I had an uncle who then went ahead to tell my dad that I wanted to be I wanted to study theater arts. Why are they suffering to change? Like, it was just so messed up at the time. I was like, how can I tell this uncle that he's lying? This is actually lying, you know. With cousins, it's the same thing. And, you know, I don't know how we became so extra careful when it comes to dealing with the extended family. There was a time when we used to be each other's person.
There was more harmony.
There was more harmony in the family. You could say anything and everything and get away with it. But these days, you have to be like careful when you are speaking around certain people because you don't want to hurt anybody's feelings. And I think that the world just grew like unnecessarily emotional. So we got so emotional in this part of the world that emotion comes first before literally everything. And we don't see how that destroy relationships, you know. There were times when you'd be free to say things, you know, just say it to anybody. And not that you'll not be emotionally intelligent, but they get you and they get what you're saying. But these days, the tiniest thing you say can be misinterpreted because people receive it from an emotional point. And so that's how in dealing with your in-laws or dealing with your extended family is not an emotional decision.
Yeah.
Because if you want to be emotional about dealing with these people, you definitely make a mistake, because they'll say something along the lines of what this lady has said is my brother's money, you know, and they don't know how the money came about. Sometimes the both of you are literally joining your heads together to make sure that this thing works. And sometimes the woman is even the sole provider.
Exactly.
You know, and according to the girl's account, she came from a wealthy home, might have given the man a level playing ground. So you don't even know where the finance of your brother's family is coming from. So it's very audacious of you to now speak and be entitled about that money that you don't really know where it's coming from. You know, So you cannot deal with emotions, because the quickest response to that as a woman would be like, are you okay? Why are you saying that? You might get upset and say things that would now in turn be in your disfavor when the matter is being brought. So I think diplomacy is very important, because when you want to deal with issues, and I believe that you should not deal with certain things in the heat of the moment. Personally, when you say something that is off, if I know that the response I will give to you is going to scatter everywhere, I will just keep quiet. I'm just going to keep quiet, because I know the effect of, I can respond to you. Believe me, I talk every day. So I'm not scarce for what to tell you. So the best thing is, don't even pay attention to it. If you know that what you say will destroy everything, don't even say anything at all. Then you can take a break and then address that issue much later, because it's an extended family. Now, about bringing people into your home to stay. I mean, I know families that have said nobody from either my wife or my husband will stay, and I support them, because the fact that this one comes, you'd see someone from the wife and someone from the husband, both of them come and live together, and everybody will be claiming that I have more rights in this home more than you. You are not reasonable. It's true. That's not your home. That's your brother or your sister's home. And so you should not pitch a tent over there. You should rather learn how to you should learn how to coexist with the people that already exist in that environment before you got there. So you see, I think that the whole conversation mostly is about entitlement. I'm entitled to my brother's money. I'm entitled to my sister's money. And I'm grateful to God that these Gen Zs are starting to learn that my money is my money. I need to be able to earn my money. My parents might be able to provide for me what I need, but I still also need to be able to provide for myself, because their money is their money. Mine is mine, And that's so important. It's such an important conversation to have. So before you bring people into your home, it should be an agreement. How long are they going to stay? And I will tell my sisters, me and my husband have said that nobody will stay in our house for more than 2 weeks. You can be angry, but that is our own boundary. And you need to be able to accept no sometimes. Because I know people will say, yes or no is a choice. But when you tell them no, they are upset. They cannot take no.
They can't take
but you said it's my choice, and I choose no. But you are still trying to convince me to say yes. So as human beings, I think that we should be also comfortable with receiving, while we encourage people to be able to say no also, be comfortable as an individual to be able to receive no as an answer. And I think this lady is finding it extremely difficult, which is why this whole thing blew out of proportion. And I like something you said along the lines of your mother-in-law grew up in a century that didn't have what we now have. In most homes, or in some homes, you see the couples tell each other, my mother is staying for 2 weeks. She can be a lot. Your mother can be a lot too. They are from a generation that don't understand what is happening here. Let's tolerate them for these 2 weeks. After 2 weeks, we get on with our normal life. And there's something I would always take from what my mom always says. She says something along the lines of, a visitor that you know the day will go, you don't need to drag with that visitor. You know the day the visitor is going to go.
4 hours.
Last, the visitor will go. There's no need for you to drag with the visitor about anything. So I think that this is basically what my perspective is about this. Next, I want us to talk about what your advice to the lady in question would be, because she came out to say she's feeling a certain kind of way, she's feeling guilty and whatnot, and she wants the people of the internet to tell her what she should do. And we're gracious enough to do that, but we'll do that right after this break. Let's go out. When we're back, we'll tell her what to do. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us. It's Girls Talk right here on Rapid Television, and we have been talking about managing extended family relationships, particularly in marriage. We have a case study of a story about a young lady who went to the house of her brother to execute the evil plans of herself and her mother and her siblings. But that's just a summary to the story. But now let's talk to her. What do you think? What would you say to her? Because, or maybe we should have the last part of the slide where she was talking about feeling guilty. Can we have the last slide of the story where she was talking about feeling guilty and her being a bad person and what have you? So before we get onto that slide, it says, now, I have nightmares. I have lost weight. I'm a bad person. Please tell me what to do to stop feeling this way. All right.
First of all, I would just say that she hasn't lost enough weight yet.
Okay.
She needs to lose more weight. But secondly, the one thing I like about her is that she's very self-aware. She knows exactly what she's doing. She knows that she was the one that even came up with while there was conversations about what we should, while they were plotting, she was the agent, the one that decided to go and execute the plan in the house. So I like that about her. And if she's someone that is self-aware, it shows that, okay, she has gone through a moment of reflection and she's willing to do the work on herself. So I'm a firm believer of second chances. And obviously this is her brother, this is her blood, and she has come to and understand, her mind has evolved to the level of understanding that, okay, this is how much damage this action between her and her mother and the siblings have done to their own sibling, her own brother. So what she can do in this extent is just to take a step back, allow the guy to get himself together, allow him to grieve his wife, because he was dealing with a lot of stress. The sister-in-law told her that she should not stress her brother, but the girl probably thought she was referring to money. Meanwhile, the man was probably thinking about the fact that he could lose his wife and his mother-in-law, and how would he have to start life all over again. And like you said, it could have been a situation whereby the wife was the one that loaned him money or even helped him to bring his wealth up to speed to the level he is today. So she should just take a step back. She's already doing the work by bringing it up on social media. She should have done better by giving us a little bit of her ID so that we can go to her page and her comment section
and beware of her.
Good, yes.
Be wary of
her and give her very good, very better, more advice. But she did not, which is good on her own. It's good to keep it anonymous for her own mental health. But at the same time, she should just take a step back and actually do a little reflection, ask the brother for forgiveness, and stand as an advocate against these kinds of behavior from the in-laws, from any side, whether it's from your side, from your mother's side, or from your husband's side. She should just stand as an advocate against it, because she has seen how firsthand it has led to death in the family, and she could have contributed, whether she likes it or not, one way or the other, indirectly, directly, to the death of that woman. She made her life miserable. She intentionally made her life miserable. So that is something that she has to live with for the rest of her life. So she needs to come out of it. She needs to, because advocacy will help her, volunteer work will help her. She find a way to give back to society, go to within groups and help out, and just become a better version of herself.
Okay, I like it.
Okay. I think I'll first of all say she should repent.
Okay.
Because I think one of the things we all agreed at the beginning is the fact that at this point we're not sure whether or not she's feeling the way she's feeling because she actually feels bad for what she did. So if that is the case, then I think she should really now sit and realize what she actually did and how bad it was. And okay, she said she should allow the brother some space, and then because it's very important to seek for his forgiveness.
Yes.
Because indeed, now whether or not, because I feel like she might also be scared to let him know you could see that she could not even give us into details what she did because of how bad it was. But she owes him that much. Just let it all out, and it will also be easier. It will also be good for her heart, because for her to be typing in that way, I can imagine how heavy she feels. So to be much lighter on her when she's able to sit with her brother, explain what happened, apologize. I don't know if she's the only one in her family. I don't know if she's the only one feeling bad and repentant of what has happened, or every other person. Because if she's the only one, then it means that to an extent she's now the one that has sense. So she should
spoke about it. She acted it out.
But
she might be the only one that's repentant. That's what she's trying to say.
If we want to take this thing to court now, all of them we shall still follow, because eventually none, the mother, her elder sisters, she was the last born, none of them, because let's not forget, she actually told them, and they were in agreement with what she did. It's just that she was the sacrificial lamb that went to do the actions and all. So if she's the only one, coming to a realization of, okay, this thing we did is bad, then I think though she's the last born, but she also needs to go back home, sit with her people, and let them understand that, life isn't the way it is. You seem not to agree. No, seriously, because...
I agree with what you're
Because
saying.
I'm really worried about that family. Because if you're, at least the mother should be able to, call the daughters and be like, come on, your brother has done so well
you
for
can
you.
just imagine what Omugo with that woman would.
Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
You can just imagine what that would like feel like, in that home. So
it would be terrible.
Yes.
So aside from that, so I if it's something she can do, get to see with all of them and explain that this thing, just so that her repentance, spread across to the whole family. Everyone understands that okay, this thing we did is wrong and we shouldn't do it, because I mean there's still more. The brother might eventually get married again, and is this what they'll keep doing? Afterwards, she should also get to a point of forgiving herself.
Yeah.
Because in as much as we are just saying what, and she's saying she feels like a bad person, some people, this thing might now lead to suicidal thoughts.
Yes, her mental health. Yes.
So after she has spoken with her brother and all of that, she should now come to a place of forgiving herself. I don't know if it should get to a point of she speaking with a therapist or something.
yes. Yes.
But I just know that eventually she should just get to that point because it has happened. She can't undo what she has done, right?
Yeah.
But the only thing she can do now is to turn a new leaf and live better. So she should get to that point of forgiving herself and get a job, get something doing. Because
she's
the
too
genesis
idle.
of all of this was
Very
money.
idle.
No, I think she's in school or something.
She has served. She was done
she
serving
herself.
before she got there.
So
She's
needs
getting
a
a job.
And
She's
there are
too
people
idle.
that-
Make your own
exactly.
money.
There are people that started to work, as the
While
situation
they're in
demands.
school.
While they're in school. You didn't come from a family that could provide everything for you.
Yeah.
And like you said, your brother was responsible for training all three of your
Three.
sisters. Do you people want to kill him? Because the truth is,
bills.
she needs to go see a therapist. Because do you know the level of mental instability that will lead you to leaving your home and coming to pitch a tent in another person's home to met all sort of inhumane treatment on that person? There's something that needs to be broken with you first to be able to do that. So, and I like that the very first step is to acknowledge that she's wrong. But much more than that, I believe that people are a product of their environment, number one. Number two, their actions are mostly a response to something that has happened previously that they have not addressed. So I believe that therapy is a fantastic option for somebody like her right now, because there must be something that is broken in you. Haven't you? No, I'm serious. Hurt people.
Yes.
People say it all the time. So there's something within your complex that is broken.
Aside from the mom.
Exactly. That has led you to this point where you feel comfortable inflicting pain on another person.
Yeah.
That is not a normal human behavior. It's not in our natural construct to be evil. So if a person takes on an evil attitude, there's something that informs that behavior.
Yeah.
So we should not deal with the effect of what happened to them. We should deal with what happened to them. When we deal with what happened to them, the result changes. So if we're dealing with something that is broken and we deal with that from the background, the result changes. You see it in the fruits that they now bear after that whole process is being. So I believe that therapy is like such a great option for someone like her and her entire family. Yes,
have like a family therapy.
Inferiority complex can lead people to being like this.
Yes.
Sure.
It's a complex problem. And you need to solve a complex problem by going through a system that changes your mindset. So I think they all need that at the end of the day. That's pretty much it. And, I would have said I don't feel pity for you, but because of what I do as an individual, I acknowledge that people can get exposed to certain things that can change their behavior. However, you have done the bigger job, which is admitting that you are wrong.
Yeah.
Secondly, give your brother time, give him space. He's grieving and he has told you he forgives you, but he wants to be alone. And sometimes you might never be able to bridge that gap that you have already built. You need to also be satisfied with that. Yeah. Be satisfied with no. You said I should forgive. It's my choice to forgive or not to forgive. You cannot coerce me or blackmail me into forgiving you. So be okay with someone saying, I forgive you, but I want to maintain this boundary.
Yeah.
Is okay. And he will not be wrong for doing that. No. Because the last moment of his life, and that's with his wife, that he's supposed to enjoy a peaceful moment, he accommodated you. And I must say that both the man and his wife are peace-loving people. I can bundle you out. That's the truth. I can bundle you out.
But they chose to tolerate
what you did. So I think that they are peace-loving people And I think that they're very nice
That
people.
she took for granted.
And she took that for granted.
Very
as well.
much.
Yeah, so but that's pretty much it, what I have to say on the show, or what we have to say on the show today. So pretty lady, go for therapy and help yourself, please. That's the most important thing. And just before we wrap up, let's remind you that we're active across social media platforms. And before we do that, I think that one of the major take homes for today would be the fact that you should be able to acknowledge where you are falling short. That's one of the biggest marks of growth in a person's life. Accountability for what you have done, and that's always the first step of becoming a better and a bigger person. And so let's move on to our social media platforms. On Facebook, on Instagram, on X, and on TikTok, it is at RapidTV. And then we are active on YouTube, which means that this episode can be rewatched at official RapidTV on YouTube. Drop your comments. Let's know what you think about the girl in question. We think she's evil. I mean, we said that. Let's know what you think as well. And then www.rbnradiotv.com allows you to connect with us from anywhere in the world. Latest edition, we are now on the free TV app. Please, your iOS, your Android, however it's called, please go and download the free TV app and search for Rapid TV, and you can connect with us right on the go. Thank you again. My name is Martha Alu, and I will see you tomorrow.